Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we're doing one of those videos that we don't want to do, but I feel compelled to do because as of right now, from what I'm seeing, the writing on the wall that we will get into in great detail today, it looks like the civil rights, gun rights, and just constitutional rights in general of millions of people are about to be trampled on and taken away, unfortunately. And based on the things that I've researched that I will talk about, I don't think there's any stopping it, at least not for several years. So that's the best case scenario. So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the Colorado assault weapons ban. Those of you guys who have been following what's been going on in Colorado know that they've tried some things in recent years. However, right now in the House, they have a assault weapons ban, and again, that's their term from their legislation in the House. And based on the numbers in the House, the Senate, the governor, and then as well as the appellate courts, this is very, very likely going to happen. However, it is not the law there yet. And if you are in Colorado, you can prepare for that accordingly, that we will get into here in a little bit. So basically, what is it? So it's their assault weapons ban, and it does a couple different things. There's several ways that gun grabbers ban firearms. This one basically uses two things. It uses a gigantic list of firearms that are specifically banned that we will get into here in just a second, and it's pretty much all the popular ones that you can think of. However, they didn't just, put the list in and think that they might have missed one, so they put a features list in as well. So that goes over any number of features for a certain type of category of firearm, i.e. rifles, pistols, shotguns, etc. And if the firearm has that feature, then it will be banned. And trust me, it is not just AR-15s and AKs, as you guys will see. So before getting into those details, I do want to mention that this is a Mug Club episode. So today we're going to be doing the free video that we just talked about and introed here on Rumble as well as YouTube. Then we're going to head over to Mug Club and do kind of a bonus gun law episode, if you will. We're going to be talking about the cargo case, which is the bump stock ban, and it doesn't just pertain to bump stocks. And we will get into all those details once we get over there on Mug Club. If you guys are interested in that, there's all types of other creators making exclusive content for Mug Club in a censorship-free environment, which is always important, particularly in an election year. So there should be a code on your screen if you guys want to sign up and head over there and check out that content. That's what I'm doing this week, but of course other people are doing other things over there on Mug Club exclusively. So let's get into what is actually going on. So the big difference in this law versus many other assault weapons ban is going to be not just what they define it as. So we'll just get into what they define it as. So defines assault weapon and prohibits the person from manufacturing, importing, possessing, selling, offering to sell, or transferring ownership. And that's the big one. That's on page 1 of the bill. So what that means is if the firearm that you have or plan on getting falls into any of the categories of being an assault weapon under this bill, you cannot transfer it to your children, which leads us to the second big thing here, is that it becomes a constitutional violation, not just in terms of the Second Amendment, obviously, but it becomes an unconstitutional takings. Because obviously, if you can't transfer it, then what's going to happen if you die and you own one of these? The government will take it, which again is expressly prohibited by the Constitution. So it also bans rate increasing devices, and the language on that is super, super sketchy. So they also state that basically it doesn't apply to police and military. So of course, the people who are going to be enforcing these laws, the armed men from the government, will be using the types of items that they're trying to prohibit you from owning, thereby creating a further disparity in force between law enforcement and the civilian, which of course, that has its own set of consequences that comes with it. As we just mentioned, they're taking two different approaches to what they're banning. They're banning them by name and then by feature. So first up in the bill, they ban the AK types, as they call it, and then they ban all of the different variants that you guys see here on your screen. Next, they move on to probably a more popular one, is all AR types, as they classify them. AR-10s, AR-15s by name, but then they also go into a bunch of different guns that are in no way, shape, or form are ARs, and they include them in there, and they include like the Barrett M107, which definitely not an AR-15. Then they move on to all Thompson rifles. I guess there's a lot of Thompsons in Colorado or something, because there certainly aren't anywhere I live. There's a few, but anyway, they designate that specifically. Then they also target any other rifle models to include Uzis, CZ Scorpions, CZ Brens, etc. And then they move on to the feature set. of the ban. So before we get into that, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that would be Venture Surplus. So there should be a coupon code for you guys to use here on your screen that will get you some savings. But for folks who aren't familiar with Venture Surplus, they sell surplus military equipment as well as new military equipment. All their stuff is very high quality equipment as well. It's not just like the cheap Chinesium knockoff that you see on some other sites. Right now, they actually just got in a Eagle Industries bag that I was issued many years ago and still have. It's great. They also have whoobies, cold weather gear, warm weather gear, weapon accessories like an M249 nutsack, for example, they have over there right now. So lots of other stuff over there. And again, it's constantly rotating. So if you've checked it out previously, head back over there. And of course, there will be a link in the video description for you guys to head over there. And then again, use the code to save yourself some money. All right, let's get into what is actually banned for features. Subcategory A pistol grip or thumb hole stock, any feature capable of functioning as a protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand. So essentially what they're going for there is any type of vertical foregrip or a handguard that you can use like that. A folding, telescoping, or detachable stock that is otherwise foldable or adjustable in any manner that operates to reduce the length, size, or any other dimension, or otherwise enhances the ability to conceal the weapon. A muzzle brake, a functional grenade launcher or flare launcher, or shroud attached to the barrel that completely encircles the barrel, allowing the bearer to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand without being burned, but excluding a slide that encloses the barrel or a threaded barrel. That's a big one, right? Because there's basically the overwhelming majority of semi-automatic rifles that are in production today have a threaded barrel. So that is going to grab a whole other set of firearms that most people don't think of when they think of, assault weapons. Next, they get into pistols, and they define the assault weapon pistol as a semi-automatic pistol that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine or that may be readily modified to accept a detachable magazine if the semi-automatic pistol has one or more of the following features. So either one. It can have a threaded barrel. So if you have a pistol that has a threaded barrel that takes a magazine, it is now an assault weapon. A second pistol grip or additional feature capable of functioning as a protruding grip that can be held in the non-trigger hand. So think like a flux brace or something like that. A shroud that is attached to the barrel, same thing with the rifle that we just went over. A muzzle brake or the capacity to accept an ammunition feeding device at some location outside of the pistol grip. So if you think about like a MP5, for example, that would be what they're referring to there. A buffer tube, arm brace, or other part that protrudes horizontally behind the pistol grip. So any type of braced pistol would be covered under this. Then if you go down a little bit further in the bill, it actually lists out basically every type of AK, AR, PCC, etc. that is on the market that has a barrel of less than 16 inches. So we have a whole nother list of by name banned guns. Up next is the last category, and that is going to be shotguns. So they define your shotgun to be an assault weapon if it is a semi-automatic shotgun that has one or more of the following features: a pistol grip, which is a ton of shotguns, any feature capable of functioning as a protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand, so you can hold it with your offhand, a folding, telescopic, or thumb hole stock, functional grenade launcher or flare launcher, a fixed large capacity magazine as defined in their law, and the capacity, or rather I should say the capacity to accept a detachable magazine. Basically, that is a ton of semi-automatic shotguns out there, probably the vast majority owned in Colorado. Then they move on to, again, also not just a feature list, they go through all the different shotguns by name that they think would fit that bill. I know that's a lot, but I think it gives you guys a pretty good idea of what they're trying to do in Colorado. And the next up is, when are they trying to do it? So this bill, if it's passed in the House, then the Senate and signed by the governor, will go into effect on August 1st of 2024. That's very soon. One of the biggest reasons I'm doing this video is to get the word out for people in Colorado. Bottom line, right now, this thing is going to pass. Why do I say that? Well, right now in Colorado, they have an overwhelming majority of Democrats in the House, an overwhelming majority of Democrats in the Senate. Of course, your governor will sign this into law. Sadly enough, the actual circuit court where this will be heard on appellate is overwhelmingly Democrat-appointed judges. And what that means is, if this goes into law, or rather probably when this goes into law, you're going to have, best case scenario, about 5 years where these things will absolutely be prohibited from buying if you are in Colorado. I'm not saying that to be a doom and gloom guy. I'm just saying that to be a realist, right? So if you go back 2 years now, I made a video just like this for the folks who live in Washington State. Unfortunately, I was proven to be prophetic, and right now they're going through the court system trying to get their rights back. But in the meantime, they cannot buy these types of items. So what I'm saying is, if you live in Colorado and you want any of these items over the next 5 years, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever amount of time this will be litigated, I would highly recommend getting them now. It is more likely than not this is going to pass by a large margin. And again, it takes years in the courts for this to actually be heard. It's unfortunate. Obviously, we've had the Bruin case where these types of laws have been ruled expressly unconstitutional. But the states, they don't care. They don't care about that ruling, and they're passing these unconstitutional laws because they know it takes years to litigate in court, and they know they can subjugate you under their laws until that happens. And of course, they have staff attorneys. So the money it takes to fight these types of things, they are absolutely not concerned with at all. And unfortunately, folks like us have to donate to gun advocacy groups to fight with our own money, to fight this state taxpayer-funded initiative to deprive you of your rights. So unfortunately, folks, that is where we are, and I just want to make sure everyone understands that that is what the folks in Colorado face right now. However, this is not limited to Colorado, guys. If you have been watching the channel over the past few years, you have seen many states go through a very similar process. We just mentioned Washington, of course, Hawaii, Oregon, California. All these states have gone through a very similar threat. And years ago, everyone used to laugh at like New York and California and their laws. And, you know, people in Colorado would laugh at those laws. Well, guess what? It's on your doorstep. And unfortunately, it is very likely to happen. So again, I'm not doing this to be a fearmonger or anything like that. I definitely encourage everyone to contact your reps and, of course, your state organizations who fight against this to stop it from going into effect. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's realistic. So best we can do now is stock up as best you can and then hope that by the time you die, this law is repealed and your children can inherit your firearms. So that is it, guys. I have bad news, but it is what it is. If you guys are new here and you like this type of video because you're a masochist and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Additionally, guys, I broke this story a few days ago on my social media, kind of giving you the lay of the land. That's where I tend to break most stories. So if you guys are not following me at any of my social media accounts, I definitely recommend the non-Meta ones and on Facebook, non-Instagram, because those are the best places for me to actually post stuff. I recommend following me over there as well. If you've done that and you're not seeing, if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, all that stuff, and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, you're being restricted by an algorithm from my content because I put it up every week. So you can fix that by signing up for the email at the website here on your screen. This email goes out once a month. It's not spammy at all, and it just gives you all the videos since the previous month's email went out. And additionally, at that site, there's all kinds of other cool stuff that we can't talk about on YouTube. So definitely check that site out. And lastly, we have our daily deals email you can sign up for at the website here on your screen. This email goes out every day, as the name indicates, and it has 8 of the best deals that we find around the internet on optics, telescopic stocks, and all the other things that are banned in this law, ammo, etc. All those things are in there. If it's in that email, it's the cheapest I know of for that particular item anywhere on the internet on that particular day, because I've already done the price comparisons for you, and hopefully it saves you guys some time as well as some money. And that's it. We're going to close the video out here on YouTube and Rumble, and we're going to head over to Mug Club and discuss the Cargill bump stock case, which I think is going to be huge nationwide, and we will get into all the reasons why over there. And we're also going to take some chats. So with that, thank you for watching. We're headed over to Mug Club.